Hi, my name is Rhonda, and I am a Drake Kanye hater. I have to get it out. I have to say it publicly. Um, Only because now that I've started this channel and I'm popping in on, some of the hip hop reaction pages and putting my 2 cents in, it just has to be known that if you see Climbing Culture Daily with Rhonda, she's a hater when it comes to Drake and Kanye. Not necessarily about talent, especially when it comes to Kanye, but them as human beings on the planet. And let me get the one of the elephants out of the room. I'm older. I'm an auntie. Um, but I'm a fan of culture and pop culture and music, and I am familiar. What's interesting is because I'm older, I remember buying my daughter her first Kanye record. See how old I am. CD. Because like I said, I was a fan of Kanye's music, just not of him. And that was from the beginning. So and you know, Drake does have bops. Like he has a little, slaps, as the kids say. Um, And so there's a song or two even by Drake. I'm like, oh, okay, that was played in our households. But I wanted to get into why, because I've been asked by my daughter and other people, like, why don't you like these folks prior to the Kendrick stuff? So please understand, this is not about Kendrick Lamar, and that beef. I think the beef elevated that I was right. It helped me to feel justified in my hatred. I was like, oh, I've been saying this about Drake. Um, and so for me, it's different. My dislike for both of them is really personality driven. I think everything about Drake from day one, when I looked at him, I saw the actor doing a good job being a rapper. I always just said, oh, he's just really good. He's just a really good actor. And you can tell, like, I always laugh at Drake videos because it's very performative as what you think a rapper would do because he's always shooting that stuff. That's the one thing I always laugh at. Drake is always shooting. Pew, pew, pew. And he does all the stuff. Sometimes the movements have nothing to do with the lyrics. And that's what makes me just really laugh. But I don't think people, because they're so into the music, right? Like I said, music, Drake makes good music, but they're not watching how performative it all is. And I think that is what's happening now when people say Drake is not getting older with his music. He's not, because it's really not about that for him. He's an actor who raps. I kind of say this about Nicki a little bit, but that's another video. But anyway, um, so Drake for me has always just gotten away with it, right? Like he has decided that he is going to be a rapper one day. I'm going to be a rapper. So that's not about the love of the music or the genre or the culture. It is something he was like, I want to do that. And like what actors do, they study it from that perspective of how do I perform it? How do I put it on to perform? Not be a part of it, but to perform it. So at every turn, everything that you see, Drake is always in performance. And a big part of that performance is being braggadocious. Of course, we know in hip hop is this braggadocious. And so he's always got to be in that kind of ego. So it was easy for him to get taken down because the way he was approaching the music wasn't authentic. And it wasn't about the culture. Because otherwise, you would be suing. We know that part, right? You wouldn't be suing. Um, And then both, of course, Kanye and Drake um, really take criticism personally. And it's really sad to say, but you also, on both sides, I can see why they struggle with, the relationships. Because there's nothing wrong with being an emotional person. It's still how you respond to criticism and critique and are being challenged. So you go with, and I hate every clip of Drake talking about when he's with Angie Martinez and his response to the control verse. It makes me want to throw up. I'm like, you're so soft. And Kanye is soft too. Kanye's always put that out there like he's soft. He knows that that's been the critique of who he is and was, you know, before he got into hip hop. Um, it's also just how it's a need for public validation instantly. So we know when both Kanye and Drake have something up their ass, they're gonna their butt. Sorry. They're gonna take it to social media. And then also how both of them get personal in their beefs with people, right? For some reason, Drake always he goes to attack, whoever is dating, the other person's dating or married to, and then Kanye just attacks whatever. I mean, all the things. So I think they both just lack emotional intelligence, and I think for me it is always just been, how are you guys buying into the fakeness of Drake? For Kanye, it's always been that he was so insecure. I just always saw insecurity, even in the midst of his being very braggadocious, which not in the hip hop kind of way, but in this kind of grandeur way of talking, right? Like, and when he doesn't feel validated in that, when somebody else is not sitting next to him saying, yes, Kanye, you're great. Yes, Kanye, you're great. He doesn't know what to do with that energy. And that is what we're seeing now. He's trying to find it, and it's not landing. So at first it was just, I'm the greatest in music. I'm the greatest in music. Well, now let me be. And also Kanye has a thing. Let me stop there. Kanye also is actually very anti-black. He likes the validation of whiteness and white people as much as he tries to act like he doesn't. Everybody who Kanye has criticized who is white, he went for their validation and it was rejected. He has never really thought anything that's black is great. Thus, the sway stuff, right? He was seeking validation from, you ain't no Ralph, you ain't Disney. He noticed he named white folks that he deemed to be great. And when it comes to blackness, he believes he is the top of black culture and blackness and all those things. And so he represents that in the white spaces. So for me, it's even more political, and it's more, a little more deeper for me with Kanye because of how he's decided to show up in certain spaces. Drake is just the absence of that. He's apolitical. He doesn't have anything that he believes in. That's why I say he's an actor. He's acting hip hop. And like I said, there are very good actors in the world, right? People are good at acting. So he's just very good at acting. That's just Drake for me, And in both situations with Kanye and Drake, ego is where you take them down. That's all really Kendrick did. It's just one, you underestimated because there's something about Kendrick that Drake always did feel like he was better than this be honest, poor black kid from Compton. And in his whiteness, he felt he was better than. And so it's easier to cut that tree down. Kendrick had the right tools to cut that tree down. And again, like I said, with Kanye, even though I know there's going to be somebody say, well, he got on there and was talking about Bush don't like black people. It was hot to do. That sounds like something to do more so than he actually believed in it. There's no way that you say and do the things, the black clan hood and, this is stuff that he says, that you think you're uplifting black people or that you're being so deep. And that's the Kanye stance. Kanye could go outside and say the sky is purple. And they'll go, oh my God, it really is purple. It's purple, y'all. Yeah, just don't see it yet. In 3 years, you'll see that it's purple. And Kanye was just so deep. It's amazing how people think Kanye is super deep. And he really is not when you listen to him. He is saying nothing new about the industry, nothing new. We heard it from Ray Charles talked about the industry back in the 60s and 70s, about money, about record labels, about all that. We also know that you fast forward to Prince and Michael. Industry. So nothing about what Kanye is saying about the industry is new at all. Nothing. Nothing about fashion he is saying is new. So what is it? Is it the way that he says it? Is it what is it? Is it because he can produce very well, so therefore he's so deep? It's not it. I think we don't do these two artists any good by holding on so to their artistry that we don't uplift critique. And I think that is also the issue that I think we're having with this Kendrick and Drake kind of discourse, because we're so seeped in fandom that we are not actually being able to critique both of them in that situation. I mean, I am a Kendrick fan. I do like Kendrick. But I don't think that doesn't mean there aren't opportunities and situations where he should be critiqued, be it that he's, a fave of mine. My favorite is Prince. I critique Prince all the time. There's all kind of craziness going on in that world that was happening then and things that have been revealed after, his passing. These are still human beings, and that we need to be able to say what the hell's up. And I really wish in this situation that what Drake fans need to understand is the only way that you help your favorite get out of this is actually being honest with him. Yeah, go on IG because we know he's on there and posting or wants to really post. It's actually being honest with him. And if your favorite is like my favorite, because people think Prince wasn't online, but he would pop in on his websites and he read stuff. We know he did. We said stuff. This sucked. This album sucked. Shout out to my Prince.org people. Or what are you doing with that girl? Like, ain't she young? We know he listened to certain things that we would say, because we would get certain kind of music or certain things would get released just in the fandom and all that kind of stuff. So your favorites listen. And the only way that you're going to help your favorite grow, if Drake is your favorite, Kanye, you can say whatever. He's not going to listen because there's some other mental health things that he's working through, I guess. It's actually just be honest in the discourse. And I think that's something that these entertainers who are now trying to, I'm a fan of Drake. You're not helping your brother out if you're not being honest with him about his BS. Drake, you were kissing and licking on a 17-year-old girl. Drake, you do not supposed to be texting no Millie Bobby Brown when she's 11, 14, 16, 17. You're just not supposed to do it. I don't care if it's an industry thing and whatever. You're not supposed to do it. That's not cool. And I think it was one of the is it I don't know if it was Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, one of their daughters dating him, and she was supposedly under whatever age. Hold these brothers accountable. Forget the he makes a good beat. That's the problem with this industry. That's how we get the ditties. The diddlers. I love that. I love when people call them the diddler. Um, and we get, you know, the R. Kellys and the whoever else, Trey Songs. I'm waiting for that one to catch up too. Because no one wants to call out these folks. And right now we just need some folks to get called out. Um, I really do hope these two get it together, but I'm a hater. I'm a longtime hater. I will say if they come out when the music pops, I'm gonna be with my daughter. I'm like, oh, I like the little song. Still don't like him. And that's how you just have you know, it's just an honest critique. Cause I'm still going to listen to a good song, even if I don't really like the artists themselves. And I just, like I said, I think right now what we're seeing in the industry is some level of accountability. Um, but when I'm in these comments, be it on Twitter, TikTok, or YouTube, the fandom is just not doing their favorites justice. And right now, because, Drake is trying to figure out who his friends are, he's trying to align his Avengers up to do a diss with Kendrick, which is stupid because Kendrick don't care like that. He is not going to care if you get, Young Thug and whoever else to align to do some big diss. He's done his job. He's good. He's on to the next thing, right? He's like, I'm not doing that. But anyway, that's all. This was a confession. I had some points written out, but I just thought it'd be better if I just come with it. But you know, woosah! I feel free. This is Rhonda.